Meanwhile, somewhere in the Triverse, on the other side of the portal, the Mirrorverse, we delve into Part 2 and the conclusion of the Hollow Moon. Previously, the crew of the Endeavor had entered a chamber so vast it seemed to contain the universe itself. This chamber was awe-inspiring, its walls lined with panels of shimmering light that displayed star systems and galaxies with breathtaking clarity. At the center of this grand room, a device of unimaginable complexity pulsed with a soft light, revealing its purpose to those who had dared to uncover the moon's secrets. As Lyle stepped into the room, she uttered a single word: mechanoids, hinting at the origins or nature of the technology surrounding them. "This is it then, whatever mechanoids mean," Atlas Zen whispered, her voice thick with awe. The heart of the moon, the archive of a civilization that watched the stars long before humanity even looked up from Earth. As they drew closer to the central device, it seemed to sense Lyle's presence and came to life. Holograms flickered into existence around them, displaying epic narratives of civilizations that rose and fell, scenes of cosmic births and deaths. It was a vast record of the cosmos, observed and meticulously preserved by entities whose existence spanned across eons, offering the crew a glimpse into the timeless watch kept by these ancient observers. But every single time they fell to the might of these mechanical beings called the mechanoids. Eerily similar to the guardians they had come across on this hollow moon, they were always a precursor to the planet's doom. Captain Blaze, profoundly affected by the scale of their discovery, murmured, "These watchers don't seem to come in peace. We're witnesses to the legacy of these watchers. They're the destruction of all life as we know it." The crew was struck by a sense of their own insignificance as they stood before the evidence of such ancient entities. Their mission, their individual lives, and even the Earth itself seemed like mere flickers against the enduring expanse of the cosmos. The moon, whether acting as a cosmic recorder or a harbinger of destruction, documented civilizations rising to the stars only to be extinguished, leaving behind nothing but these records. Rin, an engineer who had always found solace in the physical and the fixable, now found himself confronting the elusive vastness of time and space. With a seriousness that was uncharacteristic, he reflected aloud, "Makes you wonder what Mark will leave behind." His words echoed a newfound contemplation of humanity's place in the universe and the legacy it might one day leave. Quinn, her mind swirling with the ramifications for her field of study, couldn't help but marvel. Think of everything they must have witnessed, the life forms that have existed, and here we are, just one more species under their observation. The device then shifted its display to present them with a map, not of distant stars, but of Earth itself, marked with the same symbols they had encountered throughout the moon. It were strategic locations pointing them to places on their home planet, of yet unknown importance. Harrow felt a surge of excitement cut through the solemnity of their discovery. "Looks like we've got our next destinations mapped out." The cyborg entity, once known as Lyle, now deeply intertwined with the moon's mysteries, resonated with the chamber's energy. "We are part of it now," she conveyed. As the crew stood within the ancient chamber, absorbing its revelations, they realized that their journey was far from over. The mechanoids, they learned, posed a universal threat to all living beings. Now, with the secrets of the moon's core unveiled, they prepared to return to Earth. They were to be messengers bearing a profound truth about the cosmos and humanity's place within it. More urgently, they carried a warning. The mechanoids were not a distant possibility, but an impending certainty. Humanity needed to prepare, not to become just another footnote recorded by them, but to ready themselves for what was to come. As the crew of the Endeavor made preparations to depart the moon, it had one final secret to disclose: a confrontation with the moon's ultimate guardian. This formidable entity emerged from the shadows as though roused from a long dormancy. The crew couldn't help but wonder, had this entity been operating the cosmic surveillance all along? Was the purpose of this surveillance to determine the precise moment when humanity was ripe for culling? The Guardian, designed for a single, unwavering purpose, to safeguard the secrets at all costs, possessed eyes, or what seemed to serve as eyes, that glowed with an alien intelligence. It focused on the crew with an intensity that felt unsettlingly personal. Captain Blaze stepped forward to meet this monumental challenge. Despite the turmoil swirling within him, his voice was firm and clear. "We're not here to destroy," he declared. "We seek to understand." His stance was one of peace, but underscored with the resolute courage needed to face such a formidable protector of the moon's mysteries. The Guardian, not yet fully operational, responded not with words but with a beam of sheer power that punched a hole through the chamber wall, its message unequivocal. There would be no negotiation, no mutual understanding. This confrontation was a trial by fire, testing their resolve and their entitlement to the moon's secrets. Rin, ever the pragmatist, quickly assessed their dire situation. "Well, diplomacy's out. Looks like we're doing this the hard way," he remarked. Zen, her mind grappling with the gravity of their situation, realized the full scope of the threat. "It's the Watcher," she whispered, recognition dawning on her. "The final barrier between us and becoming a spacefaring species." She understood all too well that these mechanized sentinels were designed to extinguish any species that might pose a threat, snuffing them out just as they began to venture into the cosmos. The ensuing battle was starkly one-sided, a desperate dance of defiance against overwhelming odds. Quinn, leveraging her scientific expertise, targeted the Guardian's weak points, hoping to find and exploit any vulnerabilities. Her attacks, a blend of scientific ingenuity and raw survival instinct, struck with precision. Yet each successful hit seemed to only temporarily stagger the massive Guardian, underscoring the enormity of the challenge they faced. Harrow, adeptly navigating through the debris and the Guardian's relentless attacks, found himself relying on every bit of his pilot's reflexes, now tested to their limits on solid ground rather than in the cockpit. He narrowly dodged a beam of energy so powerful it sliced the room in half. Amidst this chaos, the entity that was once Lyle moved with a distinct purpose, her transformation having granted her a deep insight into the Guardian's mechanics. She interfaced with the moon's ancient technology, striving to slow the Guardian's relentless assault. Her actions were driven by a desire to protect her crew, the people she still considered her family, providing them a crucial fighting chance against the formidable foe. The Guardian, however, was relentless in its adaptation, countering each strategy the crew employed and growing more formidable by the second. Its attacks became sharper, more desperate, as if it too understood the high stakes of their confrontation. In this fierce clash, the crew's very humanity, marked by their fear, hope, and unyielding determination to safeguard one another, emerged both as a vulnerability and a profound strength. Their collective human spirit, driven by a desperate desire to survive and protect, fueled their resistance against an overwhelming adversary. Amidst the chaos of battle, Zen experienced a moment of startling clarity. "It's not just protecting the moon," she realized aloud. "It's testing us, to see how we fare fighting their kind." With this new insight, the crew quickly shifted their strategy. Realizing that their weapons were ineffective and that a single hit could be fatal, they focused on evading and escaping rather than confronting the Guardian directly. The battle reached its climax as Captain Blaze, recognizing the futility of their current approach, called for a tactical retreat. They might lose this particular fight, but it was crucial that humanity learned what they had uncovered about the moon and its watchers. As they retreated, the crew of the Endeavour found themselves at a critical juncture. The path ahead, once overshadowed by the imminent threat of annihilation, now stretched clearly before them. Yet the moon's secrets were not relinquished easily, and it was during this tense moment of precarious victory that Rin, the engineer known for his pragmatism and wit, devised a plan involving a profound sacrifice. His idea aimed to ensure their survival and the continuation of their mission to inform Earth about the looming extraterrestrial threat. The device at the core of the moon, a confluence of ancient technology and cosmic power, was crucial to the success of their mission. However, its defenses were impressively robust, specifically engineered to deter any attempts to uncover the secrets of the Watchers. Rin grasped the magnitude of what needed to be done to deactivate these formidable defenses. The solution required a direct, physical interaction with the moon's machinery, a union of human intellect and alien technology. He knew that Lyle, in her transformed state, was uniquely capable of merging with this technology due to her cyborg enhancements. "I've got an idea," Rin said, his voice steady, hiding the gravity of the sacrifice required. "But it's a one-way trip. The system needs a manual override, someone to negotiate with it directly, and another to fuse with it. His gaze rested on Lyle, or what was left of her after her transformation. Lyle, understanding the full extent of what was being asked of her, nodded in agreement. Her acknowledgement was calm, informed by the knowledge of what had to be done. She was ready to make the ultimate sacrifice, seeing it as the necessary final step to aid her crew and potentially benefit humanity. Captain Blaze, deeply troubled by the gravity of Rin's proposal, voiced his concerns firmly. There has to be another way. We don't sacrifice crew members. We find solutions that don't require anyone to be left behind. Rin, with a smile tinged with both resignation and determination, responded, Captain, we're standing on a relic that's older than humanity's first steps out of the caves. Sometimes the solution is the sacrifice. We're not being left behind. We are merely leading the way. His words reflected a profound acceptance of the role he and those that carried his family name might play in the greater narrative of human exploration. The crew's objections were passionate and numerous, their bond forged in the crucible of shared trials, making the thought of sacrificing one of their own nearly unbearable. Yet, beneath their protests was a reluctant acknowledgement that Rin's plan might be their surest path to uncovering the secrets they had fought so hard to reach. A grim realization that their best chance came at a steep price. Atlas Zen, her voice softened by the weight of emotion, finally spoke up. Your brilliance has always been in seeing the solutions no one else could. But this, we'll find another way. Her words echoed the crew's collective resolve to protect their own, striving to find an alternative that could save their mission without the heartbreaking cost of a sacrifice. Rin remained resolute in his conviction. Look, we're talking about unlocking the secrets of the universe here, about continuing the legacy of those who've watched since the dawn of time. If I can help bridge the gap, then it's worth it. Rin didn't know it yet, but from this day forward, his family's fate would be forever intertwined with the Triverse and the mechanoids. The crew quickly set to work, making the necessary preparations to integrate Lyle into the moon's core system. As her consciousness began to merge with the ancient technology, Lyle managed to blend her characteristic wit with a profound truth in her final words to her friends. Don't forget to defrag me every now and then, okay? The effect of her integration was immediate. The moon's once insurmountable defenses began to withdraw, recognizing Lyle not as an intruder, but as an intrinsic part of itself. The way to the deepest secrets the moon held was now clear. As the crew retreated, leaving a part of their own behind, the mood was somber, yet determined. They fully grasped the magnitude of their sacrifice and the weight of the knowledge they aimed to return with to Earth. In the heavy silence that followed, Harrow found words to break it, reflecting on their lost members. They were the best of us, you know, always looking ahead, always seeing the bigger picture. Quinn, with tears in her eyes, agreed. They are part of the moon now, part of its story and ours. We'll make sure their sacrifice means something. With the moon's defenses now silent, the Endeavour crew faced the final stretch of their journey back to Earth, each step shadowed by the sacrifices that had opened their path. The silence that once filled the hollow moon now resonated within them, carrying the echo of Rin's selfless act and Lyle's transformation into something beyond human comprehension. The return to the Endeavour's landing site was a somber march. The ship, though battered, stood defiantly as their escape vessel from the depths of darkness back to the light of home, assuming they could manage to launch it from the moon's grip. Captain Blaze, whose leadership had been tested more deeply than ever before, steered his crew with a quiet, unwavering strength. They gave us this chance, he said, his voice heavy with the burdens of command and loss. We honor them by completing this mission, by sharing what we've learned. Atlas Zen, her mind still reeling with the vast and strange new knowledge they had unearthed, nodded in solemn agreement. As they prepared the damaged Endeavour for takeoff, Harrow took his place at the controls, the responsibility of piloting them home now resting solely on his shoulders. I used to think flying was about pushing boundaries, about the thrill, he reflected, his hands steady at the helm despite the emotional and physical turmoil. Now, I see it's also about bringing us back, about the journey home. Please hold together, Endeavour. As if sensing its critical role, the Endeavour creaked and groaned under the stress of its damages. Yet, thanks to the moon's low gravity and with the automated defenses no longer a threat, the ship managed to lift off. It limped through space on its way back to Earth. Each member of the team was acutely aware of the ship's symbolic burden, carrying not just them, but also the legacy of their fallen comrades back home. Quinn, reflecting on their harrowing yet transformative journey, shared her thoughts with her crewmates. "We encountered wonders and horrors alike," she mused, "but it's the wonders that will stay with me, the proof that life, in all its forms, finds a way." The entity that had once been Lyle, now forever a conduit between humanity and the alien technology of the moon, continued to interact with the Endeavor. She sent advanced schematics needed for the journey home and optimized what remained of the ship, offering her own farewell to the place that had redefined her existence. "I am more than I was, thanks to you all. Our journey doesn't end here. It expands outward, into the stars. I will be here forever watching you, and when the mechanoids show up, I will be ready," she communicated, her voice a blend of human emotion and alien precision. Rin, ever the pragmatic engineer, responded with a quip aimed at lightening the mood while acknowledging their ongoing reliance on Lyle's newfound capabilities. "Now let's get these defenses under human control, Lyle, before that Guardian decides to show up and kill me." This exchange marked their final communication with Rin and Lyle, a poignant moment of farewell mixed with the promise of continued vigilance. As the Endeavor hurtled through the void back to Earth, the crew faced the daunting task of recounting their discoveries and justifying the heavy costs. The data they carried, along with the samples and recordings, transcended mere scientific curiosity. They represented beacons of hope and were testaments to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of cosmic dread, humanity could rise, adapt, and aspire to greater understanding. As Earth appeared, a radiant blue jewel floating in the vast emptiness of space, the crew of the Endeavor shared a moment of bittersweet triumph. They had journeyed into the unknown, confronted the guardians of the hollow moon, and had now returned, bearing the scars of loss, but also carrying the indelible strength forged from their shared ordeal. "The world won't be the same for us," Captain Blaze remarked, his eyes fixed on the approaching planet. "But maybe, just maybe, we can use what we've learned to make it better." The landing, though fraught with difficulty, offered a profound sense of catharsis. The Endeavor touched down on familiar terrain, under the watchful eyes of a world eager to learn of their exploits. The crew disembarked not merely as the individuals who had ventured forth, but as pioneers of a new age, the age of the mechanoids. In the ensuing days, as they shared their incredible saga with a captivated global audience, the crew members were hailed as heroes. The profound losses, Rin's ultimate sacrifice and Lyle's transformation, were deeply felt, yet these were also held up as poignant reminders of the costs associated with venturing beyond our known limits, of the sacrifices made in the relentless pursuit of knowledge and exploration. Their story, marked by courage and curiosity, inspired a renewed sense of possibility about what humanity could achieve in the cosmos. Their story, woven from threads of courage, wonder, and loss, would stand as a beacon for future generations. It encouraged them to gaze at the stars not with trepidation, but with the recognition that humanity's quest for understanding knows no bounds. The return from the shadowy depths of the moon marked more than just a journey back to the light. It illuminated a path forward into the vast, uncharted territories of the cosmos, propelled by the indomitable resilience of the human spirit. Meanwhile, in a remote corner of the galaxy, the repercussions of their lunar encounter resonated far beyond Earth's orbit. A mechanoid hive cluster, aware of the events that had unfolded on the moon, began its own preparations. This distant collective, a network of cold intelligence and calculated purpose, marked the human achievements and the disruptions they caused in the cosmic order. As humanity celebrated its heroes and mourned its losses, these otherworldly destroyers of the universe as we know it set in motion plans of their own, hinting at future encounters that would once again test the mettle of human explorers across the stars. But that would be a Triverse story for another time. If you've stuck with me up to this point, a heartfelt thank you. I'd also like to take a moment to remind you that my entire channel is dedicated to the Triverse and its enthralling mechanoid saga, while many of the stories stand alone, allowing you to dive in at any point. Crafting these narratives takes about 4 or 5 days each, so your patience is greatly appreciated. If you find yourself enjoying what you see, consider exploring more of my videos. Each one, in its own unique way, weaves together more of the overarching story I'm telling.